and monkey are chewing the fat and shooting the shit till it's dead. Hi guys. Hello everyone. Hello, and I would like to introduce you to our first podcast. This is cozy. This is quite cozy. I've been wanting to do this for a while. I don't know why you haven't. I don't know why either, but I bought the mic and that made all the difference. It's a good mic. It's funny because Monkey keeps talking to it, but as we all know, no sound comes from you, does it? No sound at all. I am merely an illusion. And since you're probably listening and not looking, we're going to put a few little clips online. You won't even know where he is anyway. So you're talking into the mic, Monkey. Yes, it's purely for your benefit. It is. It's only to enhance the illusion that you are so dedicated to. And so I help you by leaning in like this. Well, also it feels a bit more conspiratorial. Yes, it does, doesn't it? And it feels a little bit like there are two of us. Yeah. If you weren't in the room, or I was just doing this with a voice, you'd feel alone, wouldn't you, Nina? Well, I wouldn't feel like there were two. I wouldn't feel like I was talking to anyone. I would feel like I'm talking to myself. And yet you are. A bit different with you. Yeah, we're going to go this deep on day one. Yeah, we may need to. So yes, especially if there are people out there that don't know me. Oh, really? We're going to go back to basics. I mean, this is also what I'm worried about. I've got a very good mic here, and it's going to pick up all my bad ventriloquism. Yeah, if you need to pronounce B so hard and move, young house. Oh God, I feel like you can hear too much of what's happening. Explain to the uninitiated what's happening. Perhaps my gain is too high, but maybe you're picking up on the tongue movement, oh, easy, Grandma, at the back of my mouth. Explain further, please. What it is I'm using the back of my tongue to create substitute lips. Substitute lips, I think, yes. That sounds really like an inflatable doll. So what you're doing is you're humping the back of your tongue into the soft palate for a B, for example, and then you pull it down and you put air through, and it makes the same B sound, not exactly the same, not very much the same, as if you're doing it with your lips at the front. So if you imagine you're going B, God, what is this? Some kind of tutorial? They'll all be at it. If you go buh like that, you notice what's happening with your front lips. You keep saying that at the back of your throat. It's a little bit difficult because, the soft palate doesn't really move. No, it doesn't move at all, in fact. So really you're doing all the work with the back of your tongue, trying to make that buh sound. And how good is yours after all these years? Not terribly good, and I don't terribly care. She doesn't care. Can you believe that? Did you hear then believe? I mean, when I get conscious of it, I do care. Well, let's try not to get conscious of it. And let's try not to make me say too many things that start with that letter. How about that, bitch? Yeah, you see, you're really good at bitch. I'm so good at bitch. Apart from then. But you are very good at bitch. I am. It comes naturally to me. Doesn't it, bitch? It's very good. It does sound like a B to me. Thank you, bitch. That sounded like a G. Well, it depends on the ear of the beholder. I suppose it does. Anyway, so it's been a little while. What else? What do you mean it's been a while? Life has been a while. Life has been a while. It's been fucking 50 years and counting fast. Yes, I have crossed that Rubicon. Fucking hell, there's not much left. Well, one has to get a bit more, I don't know, intelligent. One has to embrace the things that matter more and let go of the things that matter less. She's talking about her looks, guys. I am trying not to think about my looks. She's not taking any Botox. Botox. I'm not. And I can see people around me doing it. She doesn't judge them. I don't. I think they look fucking great. And I would like to look the same, it's true. And yet she doesn't do it. I'm not doing it because I feel that what will happen is like I'll have broken a confidence in myself or something. What do you mean? What I mean is I might, if I cut my jaw or whatever and pull the skin back and sew it to behind my ear, sounds fun. You look great. Shut up. No, what will happen is I think I'm going to feel a little bit bruised or something. I think I'm going to feel like I wasn't, like somewhere deep down I told myself I wasn't okay. You do that every time you look in the mirror and think you look like shit. I don't know if I want to go down that path because it's sore, it's painful, you have to hide, then you... Anyway, the point is I'm plummeting, that's not the word again, I'm gunning for, she's overthinking this, a different route of, whatever. It doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter. Maybe I'll be, with all my wrinkles, a role model for someone else who decides to go the wrinkly way. Not the duck face way, not the duck face. She doesn't want a duck face. No, I don't really want the duck face. It's sort of, I don't know what it's all about. It's good if you've got Kong on your lips, monkey. Then, you might want to get a duck there if you're going for that look. But, if you're just going about your day, you don't need those ducks, do you? Thank you for that interjection. Yeah, I guess not. Wow, you've gone strong there with the common lips there, monkey. Yeah, sorry, I do that. But yes, I guess so. I guess it was like maybe there's something a bit porn-ish about it. Oh, God, don't talk about court. Now you're a prude. Well, we switch roles. We do what we need to toe the middle line. The center must hold somehow. And we don't know who's me and who's you, really. No, somewhere in the middle. It's a smoke screen for your true identity, which is yet to be discovered. I was thinking yesterday, it's really sad if you don't find people that you can be yourself with, because then you don't get to find out who you are. What do you mean? Well, maybe that's what you're about a little bit, although I don't feel particularly myself with you because I subtract from myself to give you something. Jesus, Nina, I'm not here, to be grateful. I'm fucking here to serve the purpose. So when you say you subtract from yourself so that I can shine, I think, well, fuck you, don't use me then. Why am I here? What I'm trying to do is, I was just saying, here she goes. I was just saying that I'm very lucky with my partner. Oh, here she's gloating is what she's doing now. Because I can most people can with their partners if they're lucky enough to have any, or not lucky enough not to also. What does that mean? I'm just trying to say it's not better to be in a couple than it is to be single at all. There's swings and roundabouts and slides. There are slides too in the clay cock. When are we going, Why don't you take me? What I'm saying is that when I'm with him, I can do any funny voice. I can look as ugly as I please. I can joke about and jump around and all of that. And then that way I get to see who I am capable of being. But you don't let that out otherwise unless you do it on your own. You could do it on your own. I guess you could. You could discover that they're great fun on their own. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they just got to, I don't know, put the music on and dance. Nina's been doing that recently. I have actually. She's been doing a little dance on her own sometimes. Well, because I don't go to clubs anymore because you're too old and too ugly. So I don't drink is the thing. She doesn't drink anymore because she liked it too much. She got too drunk, too long, too many years, too drunk every night. Every night she was drunk. I know, almost every night. Anyway, so I stopped drinking, and she misses it sometimes. I do, I very much so, and she wonders if the little drink down there would even hurt. But I don't go, as a result, I don't go to places like that because they're kind of boring if you're not drinking. But the dancing, Nina, do you miss the dancing? Well, I didn't often dance, I used to drink in pubs. My point being, I'm trying to justify you've embarrassed me by saying I dance alone. That's a Sting song. Surely you didn't mean to walk into that. I have danced. She does it for the exercise. I miss it because you know what? I remember my body so young and, you know, she's going to make herself cry. I remember being like a good dancer. But it had to do with allure. Jesus, I mean, your whole life has been on allure, hasn't it? I've spent a lot of time trying to be alluring, it's true. And now she's trying to hang up that coat. No, not altogether, monkey, but I'm just readying myself as a thing. You know, you cross into a new decade and you think, all right, well, what are the criteria for my focus? What is the new modus operandi? What are the things I should be focusing on? Because it certainly isn't looks, because they are, even if they're fine right now, which I'm sure they are, don't get too involved. It's something that doesn't stay. So, let's think about other things. I often think, she wants to write a book. I do. I want to write a book. Can you stop fiddling? You're making nasty noises. And where are we going in this conversation? You've lost your thread. I don't think we should think about keeping... Oh, Nina. Jesus, I can't imagine what it was like when you were drinking. You hardly knew me. You didn't talk to me when you were drunk, not unless you were deeply sad and trying to get artistic as a way of helping yourself out. So where were we? I don't know, dancing on your own, trying not to think about looks as you get older. What would you like to think about? I'd love to write a book. She can't sit still long enough. I very much plan to write a book, but I have to get good at not hating every sentence I write. You've done a few you like. I didn't really learn grammar, what you're going to say, grammar. Oh, grammar. She didn't learn the grammar. I don't know, because you hear about like active verbs and clean writing and all of that. I think I overwrite. I think of too many adjectives and adverbs to, Well, it's time to go back to some basic grammar. Some basic grammar. Yeah, like Stephen King says in his book on writing. Stephen King, Nina's got a little thing for Stephen King. No, I don't. Heavens above. I have a big respect for some of the stuff that he says about grammar. What the fuck are you talking about? How did we get here? Oh, things to focus on. Yeah, things to focus on as you head headlong towards death. So I have this picture of myself living somewhere else, France, south of France, maybe Italy, somewhere like that, Croatia. Somewhere, where the streets are cobbled and the roads are narrow and all of that, a baguette, that kind of thing, glass of wine. We're not drinking wine. But somewhere where I disappear into literature and don't need anything else. She casts the whole world off because she's become so cerebral and her body can fade away into destitution because she's living in the mind now. That's what I hope for myself. The problem is I'm a very bad reader. She gets lost on the page. I get my mind manages to wander whilst I think I'm still reading, and you're not actually reading anymore. No, my eyes are moving along, rather pointlessly, I might say, but I'm not anymore. I'm not reading anymore. So I don't know why I do that. Could it be dyslexia? I think it's maybe just, the old one that everyone's probably got, the ADHD. I mean, whatever it is, I haven't got a very good concentration. This is really, really, really showing that up. But this is a meander through the woods. Certainly this first podcast is. Later, we might like questions, even guests. We might have guests also. But today, it's just us. It's just you and me. And what do you feel about people getting to know you via this thing? They might have a false sense of knowing you. A false sense? Well, they might have a better sense that they know me. But is this you? This is the question. This is some sort of cognic you, isn't it? Yes, but it's a little bit me. This is the Nina and Wonky version of you, and it's not the whole you. No, this is us. This is us, and we are a different person. We are. You and I make a different kind of entity, which is what it is, and it's the one you decided to take into the podcast world. It is. So what do you want to talk about today? What is it gonna be? Well, I have made no plans, so I thought I would just talk about kind of where we are in the week or whatever. Nina's just come back from Italy with her father. I went to the town where my father's father came from, and I had never seen it before. Tiny little town. It was a very tiny little town. Very unchanged, the same cobbles, in fact, and maybe that is where you should go and write your book. Maybe, but it was really quiet. I mean, there wasn't even a shop, there was nothing. Well, you went during the siesta hour. I mean, there was no one. Everybody was not there. Nobody was there. And so it was very quiet. But what it meant was maybe 4 days to get there. We drove. She drove with her father in the car for 4 days. And that's an unusual thing, isn't it? It is unusual. It made me feel a little bit like a child again. You know, you take on that dynamic, and I wasn't there. I mean, you took me, but I never came out once. No, you never came out once. Anyway, I might do something with that sort of as a project. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. I've filmed some of it, shaky, very shaky. The camera work of mine, very, very bad. But it was interesting to get there. Was it anticlimactic? No, because it felt like something, but I don't know how to transfer that. It's like some kind of low budget, who do you think you are, that nobody paid to see, and where nothing happens because they didn't have the researchers. Yeah, it was kind of like that. So I don't know. I think it was just for me. I don't think it was a project. Anyway, I found out the town I come from, and it's a tiny town in Italy. It's about an hour and a half south of Rome. It's in the shadow of the mountain. Yes, a big mountain where there was a huge war battle in the Second World War. A lot of your ancestors died in that war. They did. And so anyway, I didn't get to meet any of them. And my grandfather, the Italian, the one she wanted to meet, you know. Well, no, I wanted to meet the one I did get to meet. What the hell are you talking about? Well, it's just that you didn't get to meet anyone Italian in your family, and yet you try to think of yourself as Italian, even though you don't speak Italian. You do your best to imagine you're Italian. You like the vibe. Yeah. And yet you didn't meet anyone on that side. No, I didn't. So the closest I could do was take my dad, who also doesn't really speak Italian, but he likes pasta. He likes the cuisine. I took him with me. And so we walked the cobbles, and it was nice. It was something. It was something ineffable, I guess, wasn't it? Yes, I guess it was. I want to go to the zoo and eat the other monkeys. I don't know if you do. I do. I do indeed. If I could hang out with those guys and chat with them, God, that would be fun. It would be very different. You'd be thrown around like a toy. I know. Isn't that sad? Very sad thing. But the me that does kind of exist wants to go to the zoo and meet the other monkeys. I could swing from tree to tree. Mm-hmm. So, well, why don't you describe what's on your desk right now? Okay. I've got a small piece of charcoal here, which is broken off as I was cleaning the desk, because she did a class in textural portraiture once, and I enjoyed doing it, so I bought my own charcoal, so there's a bit of that. Then there's a bag. I think that's what the light came in. I think that's what my new mic came in. Then I've got something called a ball of wax. Ball of what? Wax with an H. They are magnetic, and they interlock to form a kind of hexagonal, more than hexagonal, octagonal. I don't know, it's like a shape. And they're little diamond things and they all fit together. So I've got that. There's the bamboo thing. We talked about that already. There's my AirPods, which weren't working. Jar of water. Oh, she got a soda stream this week. I got a soda stream for my birthday. And that's good, isn't it? Saves on plastic. I should have given it an extra squish. It's not very fizzy. No, I shouldn't. But anyway, it could be. I've got some glasses there. There's a Totoro badge. When does that hail from? Maybe from when the kids were very young. And then I've got a pencil case there. Very overfull. Half of them must be dead. I went through them and they're not dead. They're all right. Too many pens. And I'm sitting here in my office, which is a mess. And I've got too many things that I don't know how to throw away. She's surrounded by self-portraits. I've got lots of paintings. I went into a painting thing last year. Somehow you violently stopped. I stopped as quickly as I started, didn't I? She does have a wronging mind. She does like to, go from thing to thing, swing from tree to tree, and never settle. She thinks about writing a book, and yet no words, not yet. That's not true. I've written several chapters. But I'm glad I didn't write it when I started writing it, because I didn't know anything. You need to get to the right kind of objectivity, don't you? Yes, I do. I'm not fully there yet. Maybe you're waiting for people to die. And you need to worry about it less. I'm not waiting for anyone to die. I'm not in any rush for anyone to die. Moving on, monkey. Now, I don't know how long we've gone, but already that feels like almost half an hour. Did you think you were going to go for a whole hour? I think half an hour is about right. I think we're not quite there yet. The thing is, was this enough to make anyone subscribe? It could be. Now, what I want to do, anyone who's listening, is do it in a way so that you can buy tickets to watch this happen. You can watch this happen live in the future. But I don't want... Well, so, yeah, I guess you could, pay? Well, I don't know. Okay. Well, I can't imagine... So it's either advertising or it's pay to view, like Richard Herring does. Richard Herring does pay to view and puts it out on Switch. I don't know, that feels a bit much. It ought to be free. I think what I'll do is I'll just put it out free and then we'll hopefully get some sponsorship. That's the idea. Let's hope we get some sponsorship. Maybe we could turn it into a book club. Oh, God, no. Who can bear to do that? Who can bear to do it? Who can be bothered to do it? But subject-wise, we're just a roaming bullshit, aren't we? We're an absolute roaming bullshit artist. I had to pause there because you had some swallowing trouble, and I had to be mindful of that and wait to talk. I hope that's been diverting enough. Fuck. Yeah, you mustn't let the self-doubt creep in. I really hope it has. That was number one, I guess, wasn't it? I guess that was number one. And it was a little short. We could go... What could we do to round it off? Well, we could end on a song. Why don't we end every week on a song? Okay. And what is the song? The song is about what we talked about. Okay. Today, we talked about what was on the desk. We talked about aging gracefully. We talked about aging ungracefully. And come on the lips if you've got dark lips. What else did we talk about, Nina? We talked about dancing alone in the house. She doesn't normally sing. We talked about having a partner to find out who you are. Yes, we did. Did we talk about Stephen King? Yes, we talked about Italy, where you came from. And I think that is all that we talked about. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And we talked about what's on the desk. You said that. I said it rather, but I guess that's the same thing. And thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you for following us on our social media. We do really enjoy that because it cuts out the middleman, something wonderful. Yeah, I mean, that is really nice. I actually has a fiercely independent streak. I do really like it when I can just, I could book a theatre and you could come, and then no one gets in the way or tells anyone what to do. And it's just so simple. So thank you for following me, because you've made that happen. And Nina's doing a lot with the masks. I do a lot with the masks, and that's mainly what I put up. She doesn't host a lot of me, I have to say. I'm not sure about that. So maybe that's what this is. It's redressing that balance a little bit. And it was absolutely lovely to do this, feeling like we were talking to someone other than ourselves. So thank you. I enjoyed it. I like to think I'm talking to someone other than this lady who makes me talk. I mean, isn't that weird? It's very weird to me. So please listen again next week. I think that was roughly half an hour. I mean, I did rant a bit at the start. She ranted a lot about the microphone. I got into a sort of tech irritation, and I started the recording bitching about ChatGPT. We might cut that bit. Yeah, we might cut that bit. So I'm doing this bit now at the end to make it about half an hour if I do decide to cut that bit. So now she's bitching about ChatGPT at the end. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Because it always tries to answer whether or not it can. Or you expect too much of it, and it's a language generator. I know that, but every time it fools me with its confidence. And it does seem to know quite a lot. It forgets. It doesn't think. It doesn't know anything. But it's so bloody good that I keep going to it. So I was asking why I couldn't hear things through my microphone. And it gave all the wrong answers. It talked about menus and settings and so I spent time looking. These don't exist, or they exist if you're not using a phone. They exist if you're using your MacBook. And she got very hot-headed. I did. She had to go next door and lift a few weights. Not that, listen, don't get me wrong, I'm not a weightlifter. I do it 3 times a month with some very flimsy weights. But I'm desperate to make my arms strong. She's got nasty arms. Don't, Monkey, they're not nasty. They're not too bad. They're fine. What do I give a fuck about her arms? Anyway, Monkey's now bumping the mic. I don't know why I'm doing it. You're hitting it with your hand. Yeah, it's nice to make a sound of my own and not just make your sounds all the time. It looks rather weird, like what you're doing in the air. Yes, never mind. We know what it looks like, and we all like it. No, we don't all like it. Then why do we always do it? Hear that? That's me. That's my own independent noise. Not really, because I'm causing the movement. She is a total goskill. Anyway, thank you so. If you did listen and you did watch or whatever you did, thank you. I think we'll do it again. Half an hour these are going to be until they get longer, or if they're shorter. Anyway, lots of love to all of you. Lots of love. Hope you're hanging in there. It's not always easy. Not always easy, but things do change and things do pass. Most things pass. Most, I don't make me say it any more times. 3 is enough. Most things change. Yes, most things do. They don't stay static. So if you're in a shit funk, oh dear, sounds like a bad nightclub, don't worry, it will change. And that is the end of episode 1. Good night, good morning, and all of that.